We're back, MPTV. It's Matt. Today I've got a special guest in the studio, and we're going to talk a little differently. We're always talking digital marketing. We're always talking website, social, all this crazy stuff. We're going to talk about how direct mail ties in with digital marketing. First, Kevin, introduce yourself. Tell us about your company, a little about your background.
Matt, thanks for having me here today.
You're welcome.
My name is Kevin Slaughter. My business is Mailwise Solutions. My family owns and operates it. We design, print, and direct mail menus for restaurants, businesses throughout the United States. What exactly does that mean? We'll take someone's menu content and we'll design a 10.5 by 17-inch trifold menu, 10.5 by 22-inch trifold menu, a postcard, design a specific menu for the store, and then direct mail advertise that menu or postcard, within a customer's delivery radius, which is a lead generation source. And then from there, we'll get the customers in the seats, and that's where you guys take over.
Love it. Love it. So are you guys that specific that it's menus on everything, on all the direct mail?
Not all the direct mail pieces.
But a lot of it.
Yeah, I would say for the menus, the trifold menus or the quadfold menus, it's always menu content. Obviously you have the logo on the front, menu content on the inside, on the outside, trifold base, quadfold, like I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
And then, but for postcards, it's you only have enough space to not put a menu on, so you'll have a bunch of offers that might be on there that want to stand out to make a customer take action.
Okay. Are we good with audio? Okay. So you mentioned family business. Is it long term, 50, 60, 70 years? Is it how long's it been going?
Yep.
What family is involved?
So it's my father-in-law, Bill.
Okay.
He started the business 15 years ago in the basement of his house, my wife's childhood home.
Okay.
And within 2 years, it was either the kids needed to move out of their bedrooms or we needed to move the business to someplace else because we had boxes and menus piling up everywhere within the house. So we moved over to our current location in Crescent Springs, Kentucky. We've got a warehouse there now. We've got a mail room. And from there, now here we are with our first podcast, I would say.
Yeah, first podcast. So when did you guys make the shift, or did he always just was restaurants the focus, majority? Like, we're a restaurant company. You guys do a lot of restaurants. At what point did he decide to focus on restaurants and at a large portion?
So he originally bought a business himself for advertising for cars, like the automotive. And then he received a phone call one day from a printing company up in Canada. And he said, basically the question was, can you mail these menus? And he said yes. And then from that first customer, it turned into now 200 customers that we basically advertise for throughout direct mail, most of them being pizzerias. And then now here we are, like I said. So it started off in the basement, 15 years, one customer, and then he's built it up to where we are now. We used to kind of like lay in the background because we used to partner with 2 other businesses. About 8 to 10 years ago, that went away, and we've just kind of been doing everything ourselves here for the last 5 years.
I got you. So you married into the empire.
I did, indeed.
So basically, when you were looking for a woman to marry, you went and looked and said, okay, who's got a direct mail marketing company that I could take over?
I never knew that would be the case, but yeah, you could say that. I've been here about 10 years. I started back in the warehouse when I was in college, and then I went to work for P&G and Kroger after college. And at some point, my father-in-law was like, hey, you want to come back and work for us? And now here I am talking to you again.
There we go. Yeah, we met at the gym.
I know, yeah, crazy. What is that? When did you start?
Well, we started the gym May of 2013.
Yeah.
I think you joined like that first summer.
Yeah, Julie and I were dating when we joined.
Okay.
So, and 2 years later, we were married. CrossFit Track, shout out to them.
Yeah, there we go. Shout out to the gym for starting it. So let's talk about tying in. I got some notes here because we talked before this. We're looking at some things. One thing I try to do is be completely transparent with clients that, what we do from a digital standpoint isn't like the end-all be-all. That you've got to have a well-rounded marketing plan, whether that ties in your vehicle being wrapped and you sponsoring Ryle High School football, doing direct mail, doing radio, doing billboards, bus billboards, TV, cable, Facebook, Instagram, email. There's so many opportunities. And I've always said for a long time that all advertising and marketing works.
Yes.
It could be the shittiest advertisement.
Advertising always.
The worst one.
Yeah.
Like, I actually had a restaurant, I said, what was it, about a year ago, that was showing me an ad getting feedback. And it was a Facebook campaign targeting women, telling them, hey, you don't have to worry about doing the dishes anymore. We'll do the food for you. And I was like, and it had like a French maid outfit. Yeah. And I was like, I don't know. I mean,
I don't know if that would work.
I might have avoided that. But I'm guessing it worked because it did drive some business. It got some attention. Some of the attention wasn't good, but it got attention. So one of the reasons I wanted to bring you on was because you've helped one of our clients, and I'm sure you'll continue to help more, and then we'll work with more of your clients as we go forward. But we've got some early stats on a client that we did. So I introduced you to my friend from Sammy's Pizza up in Ramsey. Introduced you to him, Jeff, because he was looking for some help, brand new location. And when somebody starts a business like that, we can't be every answer. There's got to be multiple things. He had made a comment like, hey, do you know anybody does direct? I think he actually said, do you know anybody does the menus I can mail out?
Yeah.
And I introduced him to you. So what's that look like when you first start talking to a restaurant like that? Is it cookie cutter? Are there certain things you're looking for? Or how do you kind of start that conversation and then get it to where it's going in the mailbox?
Yeah, of course. So the first step that we do is send them a sample packet. So we don't have custom templates for anything. Yep. We'll send them a packet. They'll look at the menus, the postcards. They'll kind of go through and decide what they would like to do for their store. And what's different about Jeff is, there's a few different Sammys out there, like we had mentioned beforehand. And Jeff got the packet, saw different things. He obviously has pizzeria and sandwiches.
Yep.
So we decided to have a postcard mailed for them. Now, what comes from that? So we've got thousands of different examples that Jeff could choose from. But Jeff also has his own website. He already had a menu designed for him, so that we took that menu that he had designed, turned it into a postcard. His content is kind of different than other pizzeria restaurants because he's specific to pizzas and then sandwiches. So on one side, we put the pizzas. On the other side, we had the sandwiches. And we came up with 3 different coupons that we were going to mail out, but also the QR code that linked into your guys' platform, so that way we could able to track they scanned the QR code that went into your VIP system.
Yep.
And then through Jeff, those coupons that people use for sandwiches, buy one, get one free.
Yep.
Buy one pizza, 50% off the second one,
Yep.
different type of stuff like that. And then from there, with your platform, we've been able to track some of the numbers.
Yeah. And so you mentioned there's 3 ways that people can order from that mailing. It's in person, online, and over the phone.
Correct.
And why I started thinking about that was a lot of times, people always think of their marketing as one way.
Yep.
And one of the things I always talk to our clients about is your website mobile friendly? And not necessarily mobile friendly from a standpoint that you can see it on the phone, but can you easily order?
Yes.
Like I remember back when the pandemic first hit, and I don't know if it's like this anymore, but Barleycorns, right down the street, their online ordering system through their point of sale was the clunkiest thing. I think it was Aloha. It was like the clunkiest thing I had ever seen. It was not easy to order from a phone. And we were trying to support them because I'm like, hey, I can't eat in the restaurant. It's locally owned and operated. It's a brand I love. How is it that 2022 your online ordering sucks?
Yeah, if it stinks, then it's like, well, I'm going to go somewhere else because I'm now annoyed.
Yeah.
I'm now annoyed the customer.
I'm now annoyed, and maybe it took me too long to check out, or it kept I think the one kept redirecting me, and it wasn't intuitive, I guess, is a big thing. Yeah. The other aspect of it, when you mentioned the phone part, because you've got these different ways that restaurants have to have unique ways to track the effectiveness. Because that's one of the biggest problems I've always had. I started in marketing in 1999 in radio. And the thing I hated the most was when I would walk into a client's business, and I had like Snap Between a Pizza back in was a client. I had, Ferrari's Little Italy, Montgomery Inn, Graders. I had all sorts of restaurant clients, but I also had car dealers, things like that. And I would walk in and I'd say the question I didn't want to ask was, how's your marketing doing? Because the thing that sucked about radio was they didn't really know. Like they would say like, oh yeah, we saw an uptick, or hey,
the business has gone up.
Yeah,
how do you track it?
Business has gone up, but they had actually no idea of how to do it. And so, with regards to the restaurants, what I like is that Sammy's. Somebody calls in the phone, hey, I've got the buy one get one free sandwich. Cool, what's the coupon code? So he can at least track that.
Yes.
And understand, okay, this effort that went out did this and got this in return. My next step has always been, how do we take it from that to the next step of getting data?
Well, it's interesting that you say that because I can't tell you how many times we have conversations with our customers over, well, if a customer calls in to order a takeout, okay, well, did you train your employee to get the address so that then we can mail the customer data in the past?
Oh, nice.
And oftentimes that's not the case. So it's like, from our standpoint, trying to tell the customer to, hey, train the people who are answering the phones to what is your address, verify the address, make sure you have the correct phone number, and then try and get their names so that then we can retarget that data.
Yeah.
So,
and that's solid because there's different levels of data. Like you're in the direct mail world, you need a mailing address.
Correct.
I'm in the email, text, and social media. But then there's some things where they collide. It's like you tell them to go to the website. One thing that we do a lot of that we encourage our clients, I'll have to check with Jeff to make sure his has it because his website is tied in with some of the other brands, is the Facebook Pixel or the Google Tag Manager on there. I don't know if you're familiar with those or not.
You showed it to me when we first met.
And that is in essence where somebody comes to your site. And so if like somebody comes to your site and you can now find them, and that's the big part is a lot of times it's not the first item that gets people to buy. It's sometimes the second, third, fourth, fifth. I read an article this morning where in a book I'm reading that it was 7 touch points.
Yeah, how do you stay top of mind?
We're a point person. And I always remember the example back in, it was the day before Thanksgiving one year. I'm driving home from Cincinnati, and I heard a radio commercial for Papa John's. And then I'm on 42 going down, and there's a billboard right in front of I think it's Arch Total Rental or one of those total rental places. There was a Papa John's billboard, which made sense because Papa John's was like a block away. I pull in my driveway, and I'm not screwing with you. I get an email from Papa John's. I'm like, geez, I guess we're ordering Papa John's. And literally, my wife had said, what we having for dinner tonight? I'm not cooking because it was night before Thanksgiving, and she didn't want to mess with it. And it was like, there's 2 dates, Halloween and Thanksgiving. People get a lot of pizza.
Correct.
But I'll never forget that because I'm like, wow, it wasn't the radio commercial. It wasn't the billboard. It wasn't the email. It was the combination. And so like in this instance, somebody might get that mailer. And they've never been we looked, 61% of the people that have joined our system through the Marketing for Sammy's are brand new. He's a brand new restaurant. He opened February. And so the majority of people within that, 5 to 10 mile radius of him have never been to his restaurant. And so they might get our Facebook ad and go, oh, that looks pretty cool. I might go there. And then they get your direct mail piece and they go, oh, that's that place I saw the Facebook ad. I might go there.
Yep.
And that doesn't push over the edge. Then it's the email and the text they get that says I might. And then it's the Facebook or Instagram retargeting ad. And so it's leveraging your direct mail piece. When I look at it, you're saying there's 3 ways people can order, in person, on the phone, or online. I look at it from a standpoint of, okay, how else can we market to them? So if they go to the website from your direct mail piece, now we can retarget them. Yep. If they scan the QR code that we put on there, because we put a QR code with something that's like, hey, want something for free, which we had 41 people already come into that, of which, by the way, 41% of them have used what we gave them, which is damn good.
That's a pretty nice percentage.
I mean, the 41 isn't that's weird. It's 41 people and 41%. I just realized the correlation. But it's 41 people, more than they had name, phone number, email, visit frequency, all that good stuff. But the fact that 41% of them, 17 of the 41, walked in, that's what we're looking at. Okay, how do we take that 41 in a year to 410 or 4,100?
Yep.
And how do we combination these things to where, you're not a one-trick pony from your marketing standpoint, that you're hitting people from multiple angles.
Well, it's interesting that you said one-trick pony because oftentimes I feel like when people think of direct mail, they're just thinking, well, you're just mailing my menu and that's it. But, this is 2022, not 15 years ago, correct?
Yeah.
So it's like you can put a QR code on the menu that goes, again, into your system. You can put a website on there that, has an extra URL on it so that then they can track that data.
Yep.
There's coupon codes.
Yeah.
Put the coupon code on there to force people to go on to online ordering. Because, obviously in 2022, labor shortage has been an issue in our industry. And it's like, well, if you want it to not be over the phones, put a QR code on there. Not only are you sending them to your website, showing them that aspect of your business, but you're also getting their data.
Yeah. And that's a huge one. And the other aspect of that, which I get to thinking about, is how it activates people. And I'll give you an example. I live in Union. My office is in Florence. I drive down 42 a lot. There's a restaurant called Culver's.
Yeah.
I've never eaten there. I've driven by it. I mean, we joked about it because I literally every 5th or 6th time we drive by it when I'm with the family, my wife's been there once.
Yeah.
And I remember I'll look and I'll go, there's Culver's again. Never been there. And I think about it, and to me it's become a game because I keep waiting to see what they're going to do differently in the community to get my attention, because me driving by it isn't necessarily the trigger.
It's not making you take action.
I drive by Barleycorns a lot. It makes me take action. Why? Because I've been eating at Barleycorns since the early 80s.
Correct.
I know how awesome their food is. I get solid service there. I enjoy the dock-style wings and the Saratoga chips and the mozzarella sticks. So I have an experience. Now, their digital marketing leads a lot to be, what's the word I'm looking for? A lot to be fixed, because I never see them anywhere on social. I never see them anywhere on text or email. So I rarely get that marketing, which could probably get me to come more often, because right now their entire marketing to me is me driving by the sign.
Yep.
But the opposite side of it's Culver's is that I've never experienced Culver's. I've never been given a good enough excuse, because ice cream, I know what I'm getting with UDF. I know what I'm getting with Graders. I know what I'm getting with Dairy Queen. Those are the 3 places I traditionally get ice cream in our area.
Yep.
And so if I'm going to get my ice cream once every 2 weeks, which I usually get, am I going to risk it on something that I don't know if it's any good?
Yep. Really.
Have you ever had Culver's?
I have not.
See, have you had Culver's, Max? No. None of us have Culver's. Damn, so I can't get any advice or referrals from you guys.
Especially around here, it's like if they're moving into a new area, what's going to make myself, who I like Graders and UDF, but why would I change? You know?
Yeah. But I mean, I've lived in that house. This is 2022. We moved there in 2016. So 6 years. We moved there February 18th of 16. So 6 years and 4 months. And my gym's in Erlanger. Like Friday, I forgot my workout gear. So I left here, drove down 42, went to my house, got my workout gear, changed, drove to the gym, left the gym, came home. So, that doesn't even count that I drove to the office that morning. So I probably passed Culver's. Then I went to dinner Friday night. Me and my, where did we go Friday night? I know me and my wife went to Strong's Pizza, which have you eaten there?
Yes, delicious.
Badass. Have you had their Almost Famous pizza?
I have not.
It's Almost Famous, like hot and spicy pizza. It's got Grippo's chips on it.
Okay, I know of it.
Dude,
We've done their menus before, so.
Okay, well, hey, you like hot and spicy stuff?
I do.
It's literally going to change your life.
Yeah, that's my favorite pizza, so I know them well.
Yeah, so it's awesome. So I ate it cold. We ate it. This is ironic. We ate at Strong's, and then my wife, like my son, was too cool to go to dinner with us. So we're like, hey, we had my daughter's Jeep with the top off, so we're feeling kind of beachy.
Okay.
Let's go get some ice cream. So we went to Dairy Queen.
Okay.
And the thing that sucks, there's not a Grader's closer here because there used to be a Grader's in Union that we ate it all the time. It's gone. So now we got to go to Buttermilk Pike, which is a headache. So it's like either Grader's or UDF usually, or maybe sometimes, is it Minchie's there?
Okay.
So we drove to Dairy Queen. So we drove by there. So I probably literally drove by Culver's 8 to 10 times on Friday.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So when you extrapolate that number out over 6.5 years, plus I've lived in Northern Kentucky and driven down that road before, because I lived in Florence, the other side of that Culver's. I've driven down that road tens of thousands of times. And what I always tell people is that I've got a podcast coming up I'm doing next week where I do my restaurant marketing secrets, the audio only one. I don't know if you've heard that or not. I do it just audio. And I'm doing a topic on what's it going to take for them to drive my first visit. And the fact that I don't watch TV, I don't listen to the radio, and I'm not a huge user of social media, but I'm reachable via social media, obviously. They have not done anything to capture my data and give me something irresistible, because I would risk, okay, I'm eating ice cream every couple of weeks, and also I guess they have burgers. I don't know what do they call them? They call them something butter burger. I have no clue what
I thought Culver's was ice cream, so I had no idea.
Yeah, they call them butter burgers. I don't know what that is. And ironically, even more ironically, was about 4 years ago, we had a booth at the National Restaurant Show in Chicago, and this guy walked by, and I still have his card on my desk, and he made a comment. I said something to him, and he's from Culver's. I said, I live near the one in Union. I've never been to it. And he goes, well, I'm the president. He was the president of Culver's. But that still didn't get me to go there. So that's a big element, is that it might be that you got Facebook or Instagram ads hitting people. You might have a TV commercial. You might have a direct mail piece. But somewhere in there's got to be a trigger.
Yes. And
like with your offer, with your coupons on there, like I tell restaurants, like you don't want to live and die by coupons.
No.
But if that starts the conversation and gets Matt to try a Butterburger or try they call them like Culver's, like it's got like ice or something, like Crushers, or I don't know. It gets me to try Concretes. Gets me to try, which is bad. I know their branding from that standpoint, but I haven't tried it. Gets me to try one of their concrete things. The coupon's what starts it.
Yeah, and really, coupons they're not always necessary, again, but it's like it can even be the illusion of a deal.
Yeah.
Put a weekend special, put a Monday, Tuesday, Thursday special that you offer every single day in house, but your customers know about it.
Yep.
Put something on there, and we call it a coupon strip in our industry, but it's like
coupon strips. So like I'm stripping the coupons.
Yeah, exactly. So when you open up the menu and it has like a little 2-inch trifold there that folds into the menu and it has all your specials, it's like, well, it doesn't need to be a coupon. Just put something that's going to get someone to take action. Like I said, the special. Or it could be the illusion of a deal that's $1 off. But it's like, well, I don't want to give $1 off. It's like, well, if a new customer came into your store and you knew that you'd get 30 new customers for $1 off, would you take it? Of course you would. So that's kind of what we always tell our customers of, you don't need to mail a coupon strip, but let's mail something to get people to take action.
Good topic there. Good transition, because I'm looking at Sammy's dashboard. And Sammy's is a brand new restaurant, as we mentioned in February. But I get restaurants that will say, I don't want to give $1 off. I don't want a coupon. I don't want a discount. I want to give something free. And I'm like, why the hell wouldn't you? Because at the end of the day, you've got to have some form of acquisition tool. And if I look at Sammy's right now, and I'm looking at his numbers, our dashboard shows that every time he spends $4.35, he gets somebody to engage in his marketing, because there's the direct mail parts in there. He gets their name, phone number, email, visit frequency, and it looks like 70% gave a birthday. And then they come in and spend $25.54. So for $25.54, all of his profit is spent on that first visit, because it's costing $4.35. I would imagine if he's got a 30% food cost and 30% labor, he's got $6-7 of profit in there. He just spent the most of it getting that person. But he's now got them. Name, I can look in here and see that Matt Plapp is a brand new customer who came in this day at lunch and spent this much money. That's a huge opportunity. But the cool part about it to me is that businesses don't realize it's not visit 1, it's not visit 2, visit 3. It's visit 10, 20, 30. I mean, what's a restaurant that you eat at all the time?
Man,
where do you live at?
Taglio, Fort Mitchell.
Okay.
So my wife and I used to live in over the Rhine.
Yeah.
So we freaking Taglio a lot.
Taglio?
Yeah, Taglio Pizzeria. They have 2 locations over the Rhine, Columbia, Tusculum. They just opened up a new location.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah,
I love
Detroit-style pizza.
Where's that? Oh, that's the place that's, is it in the old Lachey's maybe?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly it.
See, I went there. Their Detroit style is legit. I went there one time, got to Detroit style. I'm glad you reminded me because that place is good. And then I went back the next day, 2 days later, after a Pee Wee football game with my wife and kids and some of his friends, and I didn't know they had other type of pizzas.
Yeah.
So we ordered the other pizza on accident. It came out, and I was all bummed. I'm like, I thought you guys only had Detroit style. Like, well, no, that's that one pizza. And I was like, damn it.
Well, now they have probably 10 different Detroit styles, and obviously they have the New York style crust as well. And man, it's delicious.
So that's Taglio. So you've been there 100 times?
Probably 30 times.
30 times. Okay, you've been there 30 times. So if they spent $4.35 to get you the first time, on however they got your attention, and the next 29 times they're marketing, email, text, even direct mail when you put it to a customer, what's the average direct mail piece cost?
For
let's say that the Sammy's thing, the mailer.
Probably 30 cents.
30 cents. So 30 cents every couple weeks to touch somebody, along with an email, which costs nothing, a text message, which is 0.007 if you do it in volume.
Okay.
That's pretty inexpensive to keep the relationship going to get the extra episodes. And I wrote down here on my sheet of paper 600. This is a number I use. I talk to clients about a lot, that all it takes is 600 people to dramatically impact your business. I had a guy, I spoke at Cisco's event back in Kiawah Island in September, South Carolina Restaurant Association. I did a presentation. I had 2 seminars, and the first one I talked about that, and this guy said, all right, 600. How can 600 customers dramatically increase my business? I said, okay, let's look at it this way. You've got new, lost, and frequent. If I come to your restaurant, how often can I eat there? I could probably eat at Strong's Pizza every other week. That's 24 times. So if I write down 24, and I think this guy actually said every week. I said, so 52 weeks a year, I could eat at your restaurant. He's like, yes, if you come to my restaurant, you're going to have great food, great experience. We do awesome job service. You're going to come back every week. I said, okay, 52. I said, now, that's a frequent. Let's say I'm an infrequent. 26? Yeah. Let's say I'm a person that comes rarely. 10? Yeah. I said, okay, here's what we're going to do. 600 people, 6 visits. I said, so let's just imagine that the people that love you, you get them to come back 6 more times for something very specific. You're a UK basketball fan.
I do not.
You're not? Who are you?
No
See?
way. No.
Xavier. Okay, Xavier. Okay, sorry.
All my friends who see that will start laughing.
I almost got shot. There. So you're a Xavier fan. So if Chris Mack was Xavier coach a while back, when he was coach, if Chris Mack was going to that pizza place, and that you love the pizza and you love Chris Mack and Xavier, and you're like, I'm going to go check it out, that might be a reason you went back that extra time. If you're a person that rarely comes to the restaurant, and like we see here, 15% of the people that walked into Sammy's through our program walked in, said they were lost. They had come before, but had stopped coming.
Yep.
So maybe they came in February when they saw it opened up. They forgot about it March, April, or May. You get them back June, July. And then you get your new customers who have never tried it. And so I said, dude, if you get 600 people to walk in 600 times a year, more than they would have, you just told me a great customer comes in 52, a good customer 24, an average 10. Like, yeah, I said, so 6 visits is low in your opinion. He's like, it's crazy low. It says 36 visits. Well, 36 visits here, Sammy's average check, for example, is 25. This guy's was 40. So I say $40 times 3,600 visits, that's $144,000 in what we would call incremental sales because you used your marketing to drive extra visits. So if you take out of there, you already have your electric, your water, your mortgage, your payroll's already there. You really only have your food cost and your cost of marketing. So if you take that times 0.7, your food cost, and then you subtract $20,000 in marketing, you just drove $80,000 in net profit. And I had a client one time, I asked him, I said, what is your moonshot? Meaning, what's your ultimate vision of this? Like this business, what if you could accomplish what you want to in marketing and sales in the next 2 or 3 years, what is your moonshot? She said to be able to have enough profit to hire a general manager so that my husband's not in the kitchen every day.
Yeah.
And that right there, that number, $80,000, you take that 40, put it on top of a manager, you already have 30, you get 70, you're going to get a higher quality person. Then you take the other 40 and you put it in your bank account. So now your husband and you can go to Italy a couple times a year and live instead of work all the time.
Yep.
And so I look at that, and that's where I look at the 600. It's like, okay, how can we impact those 600? Well, if I'm Sammy's Ramsey, like he's already said, I haven't heard the numbers, but he said the other day, I talked to him Friday, and he told me, he's like, I said, how's the direct mailer you did? He said, it's going great. It launched in early June. He's like, we've seen an uptick in business. And so I look at it and go, great. We know that people are calling and using the coupons. We know they're ordering online using coupons. We see that 41% of the people that scan the code on the mailer are coming in. My big thing is keep doing it.
Keep doing it.
Keep doing it over and over. I don't know if you've seen the video of Marshawn Lynch where he's talking about running through people's faces.
I've not seen that video.
Send it to you.
I love Marshawn Lynch, though.
Marshawn Lynch has an interview where he says, he asked him something about hitting people, and he goes, well, and I won't say the words he said exactly, but he said, when I hit somebody in the face, my goal is to do it over and 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 over again.
Yep.
And I had, there's a lot of people like that would say that do that people get, they quit going for the tackle. And it's the same, like Dennis Rodman made a comment early on. One of the reasons they called him the pest was you're probably too young to watch Dennis back in the day. Maybe
I love Dennis Rodman. Okay,
actually,
my favorite number is 91.
Oh, my gosh. There we go. So, okay. Well, Dennis,
I
heard a lot of interviews with people that talked about they hated playing against Dennis Rodman because he would do the stupidest crap the first quarter.
Yeah, the pest throughout the entire game.
And they would leave him alone. Shaq, it was an interview with Shaq, that Shaq said that Dennis would, I won't say what it is, but Dennis would have one part of his body become aroused and would make sure that Shaq knew about it. And Shaq's like, I wouldn't go near him. Like, I'm not going. And the other guy said Dennis used to punch every time we played, he'd punch me in the ribs. And like, he wouldn't quit doing it until I quit going down the lane. I quit going down the lane.
Yeah.
So when you think about your customers, you've got to do the same thing.
Correct.
They've got to see you on Facebook, on Instagram, on direct mail, on everywhere. Our acronym is ABR, track, build, retain. And the last part, the retain, is retain their attention. Because there's a lot of pizza options, especially.
Yep.
I mean, I had pizza yesterday. We had La Rosa's at my house yesterday. I was here at the office, working about 3 hours, picked pizza up, took it home. We eat, and we're not loyal to any pizza. I love pizza. La Rosa's has good pizza. Strong's is probably the best one I can get. There's Grandma's is solid.
Yep.
We've got Snappy Tomatoes solid. You got Donato's. You got Papa John's. My daughter loves Papa John's, which there's so many better options.
Humongous industry.
Yeah,
it's everywhere.
Within 10 minutes of my house in Union, I would build one that there's probably 20 pizzas. There's a place off of that's really good over by you in Fort Thomas.
Caparosa?
No, on near Highland Heights.
Fort Thomas.
Yeah, maybe Fort Thomas. It's decent. It's a small little dive bar restaurant. They have good pizza. It's like Fort Thomas Pizza Pub or something like that.
Yes, I know that there's one called Fort Thomas Pizza.
Yeah, I think it's pretty decent. So there's a lot of competition. The problem we find is that people fail to retain the attention of their customers because they don't see them. They don't have the Marshawn Lynch over and over and over.
It's funny you say that because in our industry, in direct mail, we say the exact same thing. It's like we get a better result mailing 500 customers 3 times than you will mailing 1,500 customers 1 time because you're staying top of mind. So we always tell our customers, don't always mail just 1 time and give up. It's like give it some time, mail your delivery radius, stay top of mind, and then create this brand within your delivery radius. That's the big picture goal of direct mail. So what you're saying there makes a lot of sense to us from our industry.
Well, and it's the same with me. I've got videos. If I go to Instagram and TikTok and LinkedIn, we put out hundreds of videos a week for our brand. And 7-8 years ago, they were 1 or 2 views. Then went to 10 or 15 views. And a lot of people stop. Oh, it didn't work. I've been doing it I've got 4 podcasts now.
Yeah.
And I still can't I couldn't tie back how successful this podcast is to our business because I know it's a long-term play. Yeah. I'm going to look in 10 years, in 2000, let's say 27 or 28, I'm going to look back at the 10 podcasts I have by then and the thousands of episodes and the tens of thousands of videos and the Facebook posts and the tweets and Instagram. And we're actually going to start, and I'm going to talk about this, we're going to start doing some forms of direct mail because we have an amazing content guide that if restaurants had it in their hand and looked at it and went, wow, this would transform my restaurant. Well, the easiest way to me to get that in their hand is direct mail.
Correct.
Because, I can't, I don't have the manpower to walk around the country and hand to every pizza
restaurant.
And
it will be a physical piece in their hand, and it's like, okay, let's read the content, and then obviously you have to sell it somehow.
Yeah.
But that's your job.
And the last thing I wanted to point out was we talked about some of the stats, and this is transparency on my end because I look at it right now. Sammy's has a 19.37% of the people who engage in the marketing we've built walk in the restaurant, which is good. 20% is damn good, 1 out of 5. On that, 13% of the people we find on like Facebook ads have walked in, which I've always said there's 3 places to find people. And I have to maybe add a 4th one, direct mail. But I always say there's 3 places to find people. Number 1, social media, which is usually the least effective because it's easy to click a button.
Yes.
Number 2 is your website, which is usually the second most effective because the person is on your website. If they're there looking, do something to get there. The only place most restaurants, especially pizza, get customer data on the website is when they order. There's a lot of looky-loos. There's a lot of people that look for another reason, or maybe you're planning or just checking you out. And then the third thing is inside your 4 walls. And that's one thing that Jeff hasn't done yet. I got to get on him, is the inside the 4 walls. Is everybody that walks in your restaurant, you should literally be saying, hey, thank you for coming in. I want to give you a free pizza your next visit. Do me a favor, scan this code, answer these questions. But the other element there is obviously direct mail. And I've always said other marketing. So maybe I need to add a 4. There's 4 places to get people, and the other marketing is the one because 13% of the people that we found through Facebook, which I've always said is the least effective, 10% using the number, is that 10% of people you reach through a Facebook ad will walk in the restaurant. So we got 13. That's good. The people who engaged in his organic posts, meaning his hardcore customers that are already engaged in Facebook and Instagram, 26% of them walked in the restaurant already. But of yours, 41%. And so apparently you do a damn good job of targeting. Is it the targeting? Is it the message? Is it the call to action? What do you, when you build a direct mail piece, how do you kind of structure those elements?
It's kind of everything, to be honest with you, because one, the menu content has to be correct. Because if you get a mail piece and the price is wrong, it says on there, price is subject to change, and in today's time, prices are changing constantly. So you have to be aware of that. So make sure you have that correct verbiage on there. Second is make sure the phone number, the website, the coupon codes, the QR code, everything is on there to get them to take action.
Yep.
And then it has to look nice. The design has to be right, because if you mail something that doesn't look nice, that's just people are holding your menu in their hand. Yeah. You want it to look correct, and look nice.
Do you find the same frustrations we find? The number of businesses that have done if you open a restaurant, for the most part, you've invested $75,000 to $200,000. I would think is probably the minimum most of these people have invested, unless they got lucky and flipped a brand that was already there. Do you find the pictures you get? It's like, how do you have this brand you developed and then you don't have a picture of your pizza?
Yes, correct. It's funny you say that. We always tell our customers to use your own food. Because if I get something in the mail and I'm like, that's a damn good looking pizza, and then I go to the store and it's like, you have thin crust and on the front of your menu is a thick crust pizza, it's like, I'm going to be upset. Don't upset your customers by sending out a direct mail piece that has essentially a lie on it. When that's not the right word to use, but it's like, that's not your food. So we always tell our customers, if you can use your own photos, use them. I can't tell you how many times on my phone right now I have if you go through my photos on my phone, it's a pizza, it's wings, it's pasta.
So you're hungry all the time.
All the time. You have no idea. I'm always looking for
I know.
food. Yeah. It's crazy. So it's like, we have these iPhones today that are great tools. It's like, stand above the picture. The pizza, take a picture, take 100 of them, text them to me. I'll choose the correct ones. Our designers will edit them, and then we'll put them on your postcard or your menu so that people can see your food. And then when we mail that piece, they're holding your pizza essentially in your hand.
Have you ever sent them guides on how to do this? We could do that. I could come up with, because we've done this in the past, we could redo it. We could create a little free online membership site that could say, hey, go here and watch these 3 5-minute videos, and here's some tools and some tips and tricks to lighting, to camera angle, to say this is how to use worst case scenario an iPhone to properly photograph your food for your menu. Okay, so we'll do a picture site. It's funny. I was just planning we have our membership site now. It's America's Best Restaurants University, and we haven't marketed to the public yet, but our current clients are getting upgraded into a really cool, we call ABR program, where they can see how to market their restaurant and get really good advice and tools inside the restaurant. And then another level of clients we have, which is an upgrade we've launched recently, they get a much higher level, but we've got a content guide that's coming out. That content guide that I'll show you after this, we have a paid product that people will be able to pay to get access to that content guide and the digital instructions online, and like a cheat sheet, like the ultimate cheat sheet. Yeah. But we could create here's how to take pictures of your food for marketing.
Yeah.
And 101. iPhone, tripod, couple lights, even a pizza board with tinfoil around it.
Go outside in the day. We tell that all the time. Daylight. Go outside in the daylight. It's perfect lighting. With an iPhone, it's just take the picture. We can crop it, and it's so easy.
Yeah.
So easy.
Well, I love it. This has been a great interview.
Appreciate that.
And this is your first ever podcast.
First ever podcast. I've probably listened to a million podcasts and never been on one.
So now you get to listen to yours a million times.
I know. Well, hopefully it sounds good.
Well, thanks for coming in.
I appreciate it, Matt.
So that's what we got for this episode of MPTV. Like I've always said, all advertising, all marketing works. It's just a matter of the audience, the call to action, and honestly, your consistency in actually doing it. Because you know what? Making Facebook posts or emails or radio ads or direct mail or a billboard for a month or 2 or 3 months isn't going to do it. You have to have massive action, which is year over year over year. So go watch the Marshawn Lynch video and know what I'm talking about. See you later.